Hi. So, as I have mentioned before, Fionn McCool spent the first 12 years of his life being brought up by two foster mothers, Bodhmall and Breac, who cared for him in the mountain and woodlands of Slieve Bloom in the centre of Ireland. Now, after 12 years of growing up and being shown and trained by both Bodhmall and Breac, it was no longer safe for Fionn to be there. People had become aware of this young boy, this mysterious young boy with striking blonde, fair hair and exceptional skill, and they were afraid that word would soon get round to Gall MacMorna that the son of his arch enemy, Cool, lived there and that he would come and hunt him down. So what happened was that Fionn came under the care of three blind smiths, blacksmiths who used to visit Bodhmall and Breac, who would sharpen and prepare their weapons. And Fionn left with the three blind smiths to try and find some safety. But as he did, unfortunately, things only got worse when he was kidnapped by the half Fomorian giant Bergen, who you can see here in the picture. And in this little extract that I'm going to read you is going to be one of the first adventures that Fionn gets involved in. They sat down to eat. Bergen opened the sack and allowed Fionn's head out so he could drink half a cup of water. Fionn could finally see who had knocked him out with such unnatural speed and strength. Bergen must have been 7 feet tall with wide eyes and a wild beard that contained food he had eaten more than a week ago. Around the campfire were 6 other bandits, each as ugly and as menacing as the last. Fionn did not know what had happened to the three smiths, but he suspected the worst when he saw Garb's favourite hammer poking out of one of the bags upon which Bergen now sat. He knew deep down that his friends had been killed. As Bergen stripped meat off the leg of a wild boar, he started to tease Fionn. So, little warrior, you thought you could defeat Bergen the Wicked. Did your parents never teach you that Bergen the Wicked has Fomorian blood in him, and that he is stronger than 5 men and faster than the western wind? There was never a chance of you hurting a hair in my chin, let alone defeating me. It was then that Fionn had an idea. Of course his parents had never told him about the Fomorians. How could they? He never knew them. But Bodhmall and Breac had spoken of them. Yes, they were supernaturally strong and fast and almost impossible to defeat in battle, but they could also be rather stupid. I'm sorry to have offended you, Bergen, Fionn said. Had I known you had Fomorian blood in you, I would never have attacked you. What? Bergen asked. You think you can apologize and I will let you go? Oh no, Fionn interrupted. I would never expect you to release me, not after what I did. I just wanted to say that those 3 old men had warned me about you. Although suspicious, Bergen was intrigued. He commanded Fionn to continue. Oh, they told me all about the Fomorians, that they were so strong they simply flattened mountains with their hands, that they were so quick that shooting stars couldn't keep up with them, that they were so handsome that even their reflections fell in love with them, and that they were so tough that they didn't hammer nails, they just told them where to go. At this stage, Bergen couldn't hide his pride and satisfaction, and he was beaming from ear to ear. He was just about to lie back and take another drink from the jug of wine he held when Fionn added, and it is because of your strength, your speed, your fearsomeness, and your toughness that I feel so embarrassed that I dared to attack your men yesterday. You are truly the greatest warrior I've ever met. Indeed, said Bergen, glowing. It just shows that you can become whatever you want, even if you're not very smart, Fionn added. What? Roared Bergen. Oh, I didn't mean to upset you. In fact, I disagreed with the 3 smiths. I said I thought the Fomorians sounded very intelligent. But the smiths told me that they were thicker than jam and they wouldn't even be able to answer a simple children's riddle. What riddle? Bellowed Bergen, now towering over Fionn with one hand on his enormous axe. I'm sorry I brought it up. I told them that you all sound intelligent, so let's just forget about it and get some sleep. We have an early start in the morning. But as Fionn lowered his head back down into the sack, Bergen grabbed him by the neck. The riddle, boy. Ask me the riddle. If you insist, replied Fionn. But you'll laugh when you hear it. It's so very easy. Okay, here goes. What is harmless but can kill you? That's it. What is harmless but can kill you? Bergen's face went blank. For minutes he sat still, staring into the distance as he tried searching the empty rooms of his head for an answer. A sword? No, answered Fionn. Of course not. It's not a sword. I meant a knife. No, not a knife. An axe then. The more guesses he made, the angrier Bergen got. Knowing what he was like when he got angry, his band of robbers sneaked away. Bergen kept looking for a solution, and Fionn kept telling him his answers were wrong. However, as he listened to Bergen's harebrained answers, Fionn was unpicking the knots he was tied up with, one by one. A horse? No. How about a loaf of bread? No. A baby? No. A cough? No. A breeze? A fart? Indigestion? No, no, no. On and on Bergen went, and a few hours before dawn he finally fell into a deep slumber, and as he snored, Fionn continued to a knot. The next morning, Bergen's group of bandits awoke to see their leader still sleeping. Not wanting to be the one to rouse him, they decided to make the most of the morning off and to have a lie-in. Meanwhile, Fionn kept untying. By noon he was nearly free, which was just as well, because just then Bergen was waking up. As Fionn was loosening the last of his knots, Bergen yawned and stood up. Looking around at his men who were still sleeping, he realized how late it was. He gave one of them a kick up the backside so hard that it sent the bandit into the nearby bushes. This woke the rest of them. Bergen then looked at the sack that held Fionn. He took his hazel stick and gave the sack a heavy prod. "Wake up, little warrior. We are late for Gall Macmorna because of your riddle. Tell me what the answer is so I can be done with you." Fionn didn't answer. Bergen prodded him again, and Fionn let out a grunt, but again he didn't answer. The third time Bergen prodded him, Fionn muttered something under his breath, but Bergen couldn't hear him. "What?" snarled Bergen. "What did you say?" Another mumbled from inside the sack. "Wait, let me open the sack so I can hear you properly." And just as he was opening the sack, Fionn finished untying the last knot. As the ruffian looked in, Fionn swiftly stabbed his left eye with an index finger. Bergen clapped his hand to his eye and staggered back in surprise. "Ah!" he roared, "my eye! Get him!" But by this stage, Fionn had jumped out of the sack and grabbed Garb's hammer. He had the upper hand on Bergen's band of surprised thieves. He swiftly knocked them out, knocked them down, and knocked them over. Then he turned to Bergen, who, despite only having sight in one eye, looked as ferocious as ever. "You think you will still defeat me? Little warrior, I will kill you just as I killed your friends, and I will send you to Gall Macmorna in little pieces. You cannot defeat the blood of the Fomorians." But Fionn was grinning from ear to ear. He calmly repeated his riddle. "What is harmless but can kill you?" "Tell me before I silence you forever," roared Bergen. "Time," answered Fionn. "Time is harmless but can kill you." And as he smiled, he looked over Bergen's shoulder into the faces of his foster parents, Bodhmall and Breac, who had come to his aid just in time, and who were now advancing towards Bergen with their weapons raised.